On everybody all across the globe, you are tuned into the number one station on the net, Hotline Radio, with the number one show on the net, Keith Harris Show, and of course, I'm your guy, Keith Harris. Now, this is a particularly special segment, all right? As I am joined with a gentleman who creates legendary episodes. Our television screens, most of our times, we spent clogged up and just sitting in front of the TV. I know I sit down and I go crazy thinking, if I had been on there, I would have done this and I would have done that. So without any further ado, I like to roll out the red carpet for the producer of The Price is Right and the other hit show, Let's Make a Deal, Mr. Mike Richards. How you doing today, Mike?
Keith, I'm great, and the red carpet is clean and pressed and lovely blog on right now.
And you deserve it. Cameras flashing and all. So, first, let me ask you this question first. Just starting out on a serious note. How did you start out in showbiz? I mean, and did you get into? Was your foot in as being an actor or producer? Where was your start from?
The truth is that I was always a huge fan of the Johnny Carson Tonight Show, and it was my dream to be on a show that had an audience. I mean, that was kind of always my thing. I was never really into scripted dramas or even sitcoms, just more things that had instant gratification. And so I started off. I went to college for it, and I got my business degree, and I also got a degree in television. And I did a show in college that got me an internship at the Tonight Show, and then I've had every job in between, basically.
Right, because
that's how it goes, from delivering Jay Leno pizzas to delivering prizes to people on Let's Make a Deal.
Right, paying the dues, and the show you started out, your show you started a while back was the Random Show, right?
Yeah, wow, good research, and it's. I went to Pepperdine University, and we're actually going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Random Show. It is still on at Pepperdine.
Wow. Okay. So listen, you made a mark that lasted forever.
That's right. Well, I'm going to keep it going. They get class credit for it now and everything.
Okay, then that's amazing. That's good. Putting in the educational value along with it.
Yeah, the educational value of telling bad jokes and doing bad skits. Yes, tons of value in that.
All right. Now, look, I know coming up, because I know we're kind of short for time, but listen, one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite, like I said, I was telling the truth when I said I'm sitting there like, no, don't do this. You should have picked that. Let's Make a Deal. Mike, let's get right to it. How do you get to 1001 episodes and still keep it so fresh and exciting every day?
Yeah, I have an amazing formula for having a successful show. It's a lot like the guy who's the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Go get LeBron James, and it's amazing how everything else falls into place. And we've got Wayne Brady, who I think is the most talented guy in television. Funny, smart, quick, great with people, sings, dance, improv, really good actor, Grammy-nominated musician. So, the way you keep it fresh is you set something up that really fits a talented guy like that, and then you just cut him loose.
Right.
And that's what we've done. I mean, I promised him when I was trying to convince him to come do the show that I would develop the show around his unique talents, and that together with the staff, we would create something that was unlike anything on television, and we have. And that's really how it stays so fresh. And because we don't know what's going to happen, so certainly the audience isn't going to know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask is, when you get ready to go in every day, how do you prepare? How do you go in prepared and in the proper mind state and have the right discipline to produce a show like that of such magnitude?
Well, for us, it's about really setting the deals up, getting great contestants. We have a great director who just won an Emmy.
Oh, wow.
And that was by no accident. I mean, he really is the best in the business. He's trying to follow Wayne Brady and Jonathan Mangum and Tiffany Coyne and hundreds of screaming people in costumes around and prizes and songs and all that kind of stuff. So, what we do is, it's all about, we do an enormous amount of prep. We know where the deals are going. The rehearsals are very precise. And then when you do that much preparation, then the show and what Wayne brings to it, you can go anywhere with it. And it's amazing how different every episode is from the one before it. And I want to be, the truth is the reason I wanted to produce it and the reason I jumped on board trying to sell it 7 years ago to CBS was that it is a show that really has no format. So it's a producer's dream. And that you can do anything and change things up every day and never do the same thing. And that's what we love about it.
Right. Because listen, me and so many people, I'm sure everybody out there is just curious. How did you guys come up with the plot for this show? I mean, costumes every day, you know, like where did that thought, when you're just sitting around and said, hey, wait a minute, I got a great idea. Let these people come dressed up as whatever they want to. You incorporated that fun for the people. And you have to have fun people to do it. How did that come together?
Well, it came because, Let's Make a Deal started in 1962 with Monty Hall. And when the show first started, the origin story of Let's Make a Deal is amazing. He used to go around with the original executive producer who has since passed away. Monty's 91 or 92 now, still active on the show. And they went around to the different, like the Friars Clubs and different things and put on little mini versions of the Let's Make a Deal deals.
Wow.
And had people play along. And that's how they developed out the show. What? And so then they got it into the studio, they sold it, it became a thing, and people wore suits and ties and dresses. And if you watch early episodes of Price is Right and you watch early episodes of Let's Make a Deal, people are very well dressed. They look like they're going to church.
Right.
They had that, that much kind of respect. And then there was one day that a guy showed up, I think he was wearing a football helmet, and he got picked, and from then on, people started bringing in signs, and more people dressed up, and more people dressed up, so they never told anybody to dress up, but they didn't stop them.
Right.
So it grew organically. Then when we brought it back, it had been off the air for over 20 years, when we brought it back, we thought, I wonder if people will wear costumes, and we made the decision to not mandate that people wear costumes, and just see what would happen. Because again, if it felt organic, then it would feel great. If it felt like people were doing it because the producers told them to, then that's bad. And my biggest panic was the morning of the pilot when we shot it. I said, I wonder if anyone's going to be in costume. And I got an early report, like at 6:15 that morning, that there were 300 people lined up, and the costumes were amazing. Wow. And from then on, I knew, well, we're going to be in costumes, and it's going to be great. And the people bring a ton to the table when they show up with their costume.
And they keep it new all of the time. Now, have you all got to the point where you're mandating it now to wear costumes, or are people just still showing up like this free will?
No, it's free will. I mean, if you probably now at this point, people love the costumes. It's such a part of the show. When we're 1,001 episodes in as of Monday, that I think people wear them because they think it gives them a better chance to get picked. And we encourage people to, but you certainly don't have to. You can come and sit in the audience and have a great time. And so, we've never really forced people to, because I think when you do that, you change the dynamic, and it's not for the better.
Right. Well, look, you are, and one thing I also want to compliment you all on is your prizes are amazing. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I've sat back and watched on that show, and I mean, I've sat back times and I watched that show like, shoot, I could have won that $700. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case was. So, are all the students, are all the contestants college kids, or does it vary, or?
Oh no, it's all ages. I mean, I can't remember. I know we've had a 90-year-old plus woman on.
That's right.
But it's all ages. It's 18 and over, but it's all ages, and that's what's fun. College kids come in dressed up. You kind of expect that. I love it when the 57-year-old guy comes in that's never been in a costume in his life.
Right.
And it creates a party atmosphere. It's the weirdest thing. You bond. They bond when they're being loaded into the show, and it's such a fun and chaotic environment. It's hard to describe that when you're just there, or commercial breaks, how wild it is. And I think a lot of that goes to, everybody's dressed up. If you're there and you're dressed up, you're there to have a good time, and you're not taking yourself seriously. And that's what makes the vibe so good.
Right. Now, is there anything, without giving away too many secrets, Mike, can you tell us anything special that might be planned for the 1001 episode? Or do we just have to make sure we're tuning in, which I'm sure the whole world will be anyway, but is there anything special coming up?
Yeah, I mean, what you'll see is, if the prices are always good. We've elevated them an enormous amount. We took a $20,000 game, we changed it to a $50,000 game. And then you'll also see that Wayne gives each member of our cast a little prize, or a little gift, actually good gift. Tiffany, our fantastic model, actually gets a good one. She doesn't get to keep it, but it's fun, and all kinds of things in the vein of Let's Make a Deal are taking place. Yeah,
well, listen, I've seen most of the gifts I see on there are good gifts anyway. It's
all really fun. You probably wouldn't want Jonathan Mangums or who's our announcer, or Cat Gray, who's our guy that scores the show.
Yeah.
One of the things to watch, if you're ever watching it, watch how the music is all played live. So Cat Gray, who's our keyboardist, literally scores the show in real time as it's going. We don't add music in post.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, it's amazing what he does.
Okay, and of course that brings extra liveliness to the crowd. Now I know, because when I'm watching the show, or when people are watching it, do they show him playing this music live? I've never seen him do it live, but I know it's always on point. And it's always some embarrassing music when somebody loses. I tell you, Jonathan hangs people up when they pick the wrong door, when they pick the wrong prize.
Yeah. Well, he's great with it, and then Tiffany's great as, there's this, beautiful person inside and out who then, when she presents the song, I always think it's hysterical, because it's just the dichotomy of this wonderful person standing in front of this hideous, monster van or whatever it is always funny.
That's always amazing. I'm like, oh. Now, look, and I know you're a well-prepared guy. You're a master at this craft. First of all, did you kind of answered this question before, but did you see this going this far? I knew you knew it would be a great show. I knew you had a great idea under your belt, but did you see it going this far from the jump?
Whenever you sell a show, you always believe it's the greatest show ever. That's the great thing about being a delusional TV producer. and so you always think, they become your babies, and you think, this is the greatest thing in the world. And I thought we would for sure get 2 seasons out of it.
Right.
And because I just thought, we've got Wayne Brady, we've got a classic format, what we've done to it is really cool. I never imagined getting to 1001, because that number's so monstrous, and 6 seasons is more than, I don't know what the stat is, 95% TV shows or something. So, I never dreamed we'd be here. I do remember we finished the 5th episode of Let's Make a Deal, and whenever you launch a show, it's really difficult. Nothing works right. Nothing, the doors wouldn't open. I mean, it's all, it looks fine on TV, but they're always really, really tough. Yeah. And I finished the 5th episode, and I go, I cannot believe we have to do 170 more of these this season, because they order 175 at a time.
Right.
And I just remember thinking, we are never going to get through this first season. So, I mean, no, I don't think any of us ever imagined 1001 episodes. It's really crazy and lucky, and the people that put it on, how much fun people are having on camera when you watch it. We are literally goofing around and having that much fun off camera.
And that's the good thing about it. And I tell you, when you talk about doing doing the other 170 episodes that you had planned to do, it's amazing how once you get that ball rolling, how fast that time goes by, though.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you're not kidding. I remember that episode so clearly. I remember a couple other things, and then it just seems like, oh, here we are. It's gone so fast, and it's so fun. We all, I mean, no kidding. I know everybody says this, but we feel so lucky to be on that show, because it's funny. I had my son's Cub Scout group come through, and they had to ask. So they're 7-year-olds, and they had to ask a certain questions about the show and try to understand it. And the one kid said, "So what is your goal every day? Right. And what's the goal of your staff every day?" And I said that our goal is to make the hour that these people are watching the show even better than it would have been if they had. Is to bring joy to their life. It's to make their day brighter.
Yeah.
And the kid goes, "Boy, that's a really great goal. That's not what my dad does.
Right.
My dad's a lawyer." And I was like, what? But that is what we do, and that is, it's so fun that we want to bring a smile to your face, and we want to give away things.
Right. Now, for the people out there listening, I know a lot of people sit back and they watch and they wonder, listen, how can I be a part of the show? How do people become contestants?
So it's actually really easy. You go to cbs.com/let's make a deal, and the tickets are really easy to get. They're free, and what's amazing about it, we shoot it in Los Angeles. It's really easy to get to it, and if you come to the show, you have like a 1 in 13 chance of being picked. Okay. So I mean, it's not like, oh, I've got no shot of ever getting on.
Right.
You have a legitimate chance, and just about everybody wins something when they come. That plays on the show, so it's a really fun taping to come to.
Right. Now, are you look, I know you're breathing. I know you exhale once you hit this first 1001. How prepared are you to go to the next 1001? Because I know you're going to be there soon before you know it.
Yeah, when you say that, I think, oh my gosh, that's like it's our fifth episode. How are we going to get to 170? I like to take it with 175 episode chunks at a time, and we're gonna go into production on season 7 here in like a month and a half, and we just started planning out all the shows, the songs, the prizes, all the fun stunts we'll pull. Wayne and I were actually texting back and forth today about some of the stuff we're going to do, and so we'll get fired up to make the show. We try to make the show 20% better every year, 20% more enjoyable, funnier. And, we'll work hard this year to make sure that we stay what I think is the funniest show in daytime, if not on TV.
Listen, I want to congratulate you. I know I speak for myself and the rest of the world out there, and just congratulating you guys on so much success. And listen, and congratulating you on so much success, not just with Let's Make a Deal, but The Price is Right. Always. And sometimes when you get a chance to, I know you're really busy, but I'd love for you to come back on at some point in time and we talk about The Price is Right as well.
I'd love it. Yeah, never too busy to talk about Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal.
I know that's right. Look, both of them sound amazing. The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal. You cannot beat those two titles on television.
It's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, also I wanted to tell you too. Look, I'll be out to the West Coast soon. So listen, I used to sit and watch that show all the time. Let's Make a Deal. So you gonna catch me out there at some point in time. I'm not sure what I'm gonna wear. I haven't picked my costume yet, but I'll be out there looking crazy myself.
A banana costume is always a solid choice.
Oh man, okay. Look,
it's perfect. It's bright. It draws attention to yourself. It's a good one.
Hey, look, that's real.
Little insider tip.
That's real. Look, I appreciate that. That's real risky, Mike. That's real risque right there. Going in there,
I agree.
Dressed like a banana. Listen, once again, I'd like to thank CBS, everybody. Monday, May 4th. Don't you touch that dial. You keep it locked. Monday, May 4th. Tune in for the 1001st episode of Let's Make a Deal. The prizes are going to be crazy. They're upping the stakes. It's going to be phenomenal. Once again, I'd like to send a special shout out to you, Mike, and your whole staff. You guys get no rest. You get no rest, and you keep the people happy. You do it for the world, and we really appreciate that. I also want to send a special shout out to Molly O'Gara, also, for being a wonderful team player and connecting things. I also like to remind everyone that in case you just tuning in, all right, you can go play this full conversation with myself and Mike back right here on the Keith Harris Show on social media. So anything you miss, we talked about everything from how you get on the show to a lot of breakdown. All right. So you want to make sure you go back and you catch this full conversation between him and myself. All right. And listen, Mike, I'm looking forward to getting down there. I'm like I say, I'm not sure what I'm coming as. I don't know if I'm gonna do the banana thing. That's,
if you are going to come out, you let me know. You'll be like that for the show. You'll love it.
Oh, I'm on the way. I'm definitely on the way. So we'll be seeing each other soon. We'll do lunch or something.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Mike.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Everybody out there all across the land, that was the amazing Mike Richards of the Let's Make a Deal show. Amazing guy. Produces Let's Make a Deal. Produces The Price is Right. So many wonderful shows that have, just stood the test of time in the most amazing way. And I tell you what, you will look. I don't know what else to say except this man is phenomenal. All right. Listen, don't forget, in case you missed the live conversation with Mike Richards, Mike G. Richards right here on the Keith Harris Show, Be sure you check it out on social media. We have the whole conversation posted as well very shortly. So you stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Man, that was amazing. Mike Richards, everybody. Hotline Radio. Don't touch that dial.